The 1970s gave us some of the most powerful music the world has ever known. Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd. These bands filled stadiums, topped charts, and changed music forever. But while the legends soared, many other talented bands didn't. They had the songs, they had the skill. Some even had hit records, but they disappeared far too soon, pushed aside by bad luck, bad deals, or just bad timing. In this video, we're bringing them back. These are the 70s rock bands you forgot existed, but they truly deserved more love. Our story begins with a band that once had it all. They were signed by the Beatles, produced by Paul McCartney, and for a brief, shining moment, they looked like the future of British rock. In 1968, Badfinger became the very first group signed to Apple Records, the Beatles' own label. McCartney even gave them their first hit, the song Come and Get It.
Here it is, come and get it.
And it exploded. Top 10 in the US, top 10 in the UK. Radio loved it, fans loved it. The press called them the next Beatles, and it wasn't a one-hit wonder. Soon came No Matter What Then, Day After Day, and then Baby Blue.
No matter what you do, day after day.
Guitar-driven, harmony-rich, emotional rock. They weren't copying the Beatles, they were carrying the torch. But while the music soared, the band's foundation was starting to crack. Behind the scenes, Badfinger had made a terrible mistake. They signed with a manager named Stan Polly. He promised to take care of the money, but instead he took care of himself. Millions of dollars in royalties went missing. The band couldn't access their own income. Gigs were canceled, records went unpaid. Pete Ham, the group's lead singer and songwriter, was devastated. He'd poured everything into his songs. Now he couldn't pay his bills. His home was at risk. His pregnant fiancée left without answers. In 1975, Pete Ham died by suicide. He was just 27 years old. In his final note, he called Stan Polly, quote, a soulless bastard. His death shocked the music world, but heartbreak wasn't done with Badfinger. The band tried to carry on. They toured with new members. They released more music, but the magic was gone, and so was the money. In 1983, bassist Tom Evans, who'd co-written their most famous ballad, also died by suicide. He was still locked in legal battles over royalties, still chasing what the band had earned and lost. Pete Ham, Tom Evans, they're no longer here, but their music is. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the sound of a band that should have been one of the greats. They were more than a footnote. They were more than a tragedy. They were Badfinger. In the early 70s, rock was changing. It wasn't just about guitars anymore. It was about ideas, visions, worlds beyond our own. And one band dared to take their fans on a trip through space, time, and sound. They didn't want to play pretty. They wanted to transport you. And for a while, they did. Hawkwind was formed in 1969 in West London. Their music, a wild mix of psychedelia, electronic noise, and science fiction themes. Nobody sounded like them. They were loud, they were strange, and they didn't care what the radio thought. The band's founder, Dave Brock, wanted to create what he called mind music, something hypnotic, endless, like a machine trapped inside a dream. They used synthesizers, feedback, distortion long before most rock bands dared. It was rock and roll, yes, but from another dimension. In 1972, Hawkwind struck gold. They released a song called Silver Machine. It was fast, chaotic, and totally futuristic. And it became a surprise hit, top 3 in the UK. Sold over 200,000 copies. They performed it live on the BBC's Top of the Pops in glitter, feathers, and laser beams. The song's lead vocal came from a man named Lemmy Kilmister. You might know him better as the founder of Motorhead. Before Lemmy roared in metal, he was Hawkwind's bass player, and this was his first big hit. But as fast as the fame came, it faded. Hawkwind didn't want to become pop stars. They weren't made for radio. Their music was long, improvised, and political. They sang about war, space travel, machines, and sometimes even mind control. They were banned from BBC Radio for being too weird. Venues struggled with their chaotic shows, and drugs were everywhere. The lineup kept changing. Band members came and went. Even Lemmy was fired caught crossing into Canada with drugs. But through it all, Dave Brock kept Hawkwind alive, one tour at a time. Hawkwind never had another mainstream hit, but they didn't need it. They became a cult band, one of the first true underground legends. Their music shaped punk, it shaped metal, it shaped ambient rock, space rock, and industrial music.